After its horrendous last live-action adaptation movie, Disney's at it again, but this time with live-action adaptation focused on the 101 Dalmatians villain, Cruella. And I can't help myself but ask, why? Honestly, I can see why Disney would focus this live-action movie on her. She's one of the most remarkable characters of the original movie, and an iconic Disney villain. So it seems obvious Disney would go to this direction instead of focusing on Pongo, Perdita, and their quest to save their puppies. But there is only one thing Disney seems to have forgotten once you start watching the trailer. This is a woman who wanted to skin puppies to make a fur coat. Cruella is, as her name obviously implies, a cruel person. She looks down at adorable puppies and the first thing she thinks about is making a coat for her out of their skin. This live-action adaptation, however, seems to portray her in a different way, focusing her more through a glamorous and psychopathic way instead, which in my opinion is not the case about her, and Disney's missing the point about Cruella. Honestly, Cruella in the original movie looked glamorous. She is a wealthy woman with lots of influence in the upper-class society, with refined tastes and expensive clothes. She knows what she wants, and won't stop until she achieves it. But in this live-action movie, it looks like we'll be shown how Cruella came to be. She seems to come from a more humble background as she ascends to power, dethrones the ones who used to be more powerful than her as she gets more unhinged and dangerous. Of course Disney would choose to have this direction. It looks awful, but I'm not surprised honestly. Also, it seems convenient given that they've chosen Emma Stone to play her role, so I think Disney couldn't waste her, so that's how Disney's gonna give her role more focus, I guess. But the point is, the focus of the original 101 Dalmatians movie, produced back in 1961, was never about that when it comes to the characterization of Cruella. Again, despite looking glamorous, that was never the main point of her character. That was never what Disney tried to show about her. Of course the glamour was there, but her cruelty was her main character trait, which was displayed through her goal of having Dalmatian fur coat. She is so driven by her mad goals to the point of putting an innocent man's life, and her own life as well, in danger just to catch the puppies. This new Cruella looks as a disastrous mixture of Harley Quinn and Alice from the CW's pathetic show Batwoman. Looking crazy and behaving like one with smeared makeup was never what Cruella was about. She is an evil, shrewd woman, aware of her status and power, who wouldn't take no as an answer. To make Cruella do cruel things because she is a sociopath is misunderstanding Cruella's character. But more than that, it simply falls flat. You don't have to be a psychopath like Harley Quinn in order to do terrible things. To associate cruelty with mental insanity seems a very simplistic thing to do. Plus, it also seems to portray Cruella in a more shallow way. She is a bad woman because she is one, and I don't think we need to see her struggle in the past or make her sink into insanity in order to understand how she came to be. In all Disney movies, bad guys simply were the bad guys, and I miss that kind of thing. Now it looks like every villain must have a reason to become one, whether it is a tragic past or in this case, mental insanity, and that they must be understood and humanized. In the original movie, she doesn't start behaving like crazy until at the very end, when she puts that man's life in danger because of how consumed she was by her goal of having a Dalmatian fur coat. She unconsciously lets go of her elegance, style, and class as she gets consumed by her evil desire to the brink of madness. As a result, a woman who used to be so important for the upper-class society is now left with nothing, with no elegance, no style, her expensive car destroyed, and most of all, with no dignity, to the point of being scorned by her own thugs. Both the madness and glamour were there in Cruella, but they were never the main point about her, because her cruelty was. But those other aspects seem what Disney's choosing to remark in this live-action movie. Making Cruella psycho is just another way of doing what Disney has done to most villains in its live-action movies, giving almost all of them a traumatic past, which made them become villains. I can't help myself but feel that this is a very simplistic way of portraying them. To know how villains came to be was never a priority for the old Disney classic animated movies. We simply knew who were the good guys and the bad guys, but they wrote the villains as well-written ones. So that's the reason why Disney villains such as Maleficent, Gaston, Jafar, Shan Yu, Ursula, and Cruella as well are still remembered as iconic Disney villains, despite little to no information being given about their origins. I know it looks tempting to glamorize Cruella and portray her as a mad, powerful woman dressed in luxurious clothes, making her look stunning, a person who displays her power and money just as she displays her madness, making shocking entrances and scandalizing everyone. But this is still a woman who wanted to scan adorable puppies to make her a cult. By the way, this happens eventually in the trailer.
I am woman, hear me roar.
Please don't tell me they're gonna give a girl power moment to a woman who wanted to skin puppies.
I want the job done tonight.
How are we gonna do it?
Any way you like, poison them, drown them, bash them in the head.
I get if Disney decides to change her characterization and portray her as a sociopath, but in my humble personal opinion, that's so gonna fall flat in comparison to her original characterization. I hope I'm wrong though, but if it ends up being the case, then I won't be surprised. Disappointed, but not surprised. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time around.